So these are the questions I'll be trying to solve, and I think so the target is what I think so within 35 minutes I'll try to solve 4 to 5 questions. So yeah, we can begin with the array section. Yeah, 1 second. Let's see, the target is 4 to 5 questions, but let's see. I guess I'll be able to solve only 3 because per question I might take only 10 minutes. Yes, let's begin. Remove duplicates from sorted array. Okay. Given an integer array nums sorted in non-descending order. Okay, so ascending order. Remove the duplicates in place such that each unique element appears only once. Remove the duplicates in place. Okay, such that each unique element appears only once. The relative order of the element should be kept same. Since it is impossible to change the length of the array in some languages, you must instead have a result first part of the array nums. More formally, if there are k elements after removing the duplicates, then the first k elements of the nums should hold the final result. It does not matter what you leave beyond the first k elements. Okay. Return k after placing the final result in the first k slots of nums. Okay. Do not allocate extra space for another array. You must do this by modifying the input array in place with big O of 1 extra memory. Cool. The judge will test your solution with the following code. This is it. This is it. 1, 1, 2. Answer should be 1 and 2, and this should be empty, right? Your function should return k equal to 2, which means the first two elements of it does not matter what you leave beyond the returned k. So this can be x, y, z, anything, but the first k numbers matter. In this case, yes, I see. So k is apparently yes, the k is nothing but the number of the number of unique elements here. Okay, here the answer should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 should be the k value. Okay, 5 is the k value. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, indeed, 5 is k. Okay, what we can do is, I don't need to, I'll check the hints if I not able to figure out. So let's say 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2. So what I can do is I can keep a pointer I and a j here. I'll be like, okay, I'll be like, if the current element a of I is apparently equivalent to the next element a of I plus 1, in that case, I will stay at the same place. I think so. I can just increase I, right? So I might increase. Yes, that's something I can do. Or I can do one better. I can keep j at the very beginning and I is up here. I'll be like, okay, is a of I is equivalent to a of I minus 1? Yes. So what I'll do is, let's just ignore it because I know for a fact it's already there. Correct. Now at 1, is this equivalent to this? No. I'll increase I. Okay, so if it's not equivalent, right? If it's not equivalent, then in that case, I'll swap I with j. Okay, j will be increased, right? So apparently j is up here, and let's say I is up here. I'll swap these. So this will 1 will come up here, and 0 will come up here. J comes up forward. I is up here. But will that help me? Will that help me? I don't think so. In place, right? Because I have to. So space should be big O of 1. Okay, what if I just use a space of big O of 1? I think I can do it, right? What if I just use that? Then I think so I can do it. Let's see. So I can have something like, let's say temp array. Okay, so temp array 0 multiplied by n, where n is nothing but, my bad, yes, n is nothing but the length of the nums. No, temp 0 multiplied by n, and then I'll be like, yes, I is at 0 for j in range n. I can even create a set, maybe something like this, if at all. Okay, it's sorted, right? It's sorted, so you can just use this, right? See if it's sorted, then is it really beginning from 0? No, it can begin from 1 as well. So yes, I can have a set, and then here I'll be like, temp is this thing. Let's have temp as empty. I is not required. Yes, very simple procedure for I in nums. If I not in set, in that case temp dot append I, else I'll be like also s dot add I, just add it there. And I think so that's the end of the process. At the very end in the temp I'll add something like this, temp plus equivalent to something like this, can be anything, but again this can be of length nothing but n minus length of temp, right? So n minus length of temp, that's something I'll be having here, length of temp. So I can just simply return temp and that should be the end of the process. Let's see, run code. 1 2 is not valid for the expected return type. Type str is not valid for the expected return type integer. Okay, I can have something like an underscore, right? So maybe I cannot have anything, so maybe I can have 0. That's something I can have because the rest of the elements never matter, right? What do I have to return, by the way? The function should return k equal to 2. Okay. So the function should apparently return this k value indeed. Okay, so I can have something like this, m is length of s, or let's say I'll return something like this, return return k, not really k but length of s. Will that help me? I don't know, let's see. I think so. I don't yeah, your answer is 1 and 1, expected answer is 1 and 2. I think so I have to modify nums in place now. So I can simply say nums is apparently temp of this thing. This is going to work fine. So I'm replacing nums. Let's see. Your answer is 1 1, expected answer is 1 2. Okay, what's happening? Let me see. Your input is 1 1 2, your expected answer is 1 and 2. कहाँ पे गलती हो गया? The first 5 elements of nums being 0 1 2 3 4 respectively, it does not matter what you leave beyond the returned k. Okay, so then your solution will be accepted. Input the expected answer with the correct length. Yes, I'm doing that stuff, right? Okay, let's say total length suppose 5 था and I'm saying ये 3 है तो 2 और add करना, correct? Yes, that's absolutely fine. Temp is temp plus this thing and minus length of temp. What can I have here extra? Temp dot append I, s dot add I. Yes, that's also completely fine. Where am I going wrong? Let's see one hint. In this order, the key to input is being sorted as far as the duplicate elements are concerned. What is their positioning in the array when the given array is sorted? Look at the image. Yes, that's something I know. If we know the position of one of the elements, do we also know the position of all the duplicate elements? Indeed, yes. Uh, uh, uh. Mhm. Okay, let me rethink. Let me rethink. 35 minutes, 5 questions. मेरे को तो नहीं लग रहा कि होगा. 2 भी हो जाए काफ़ी है यहाँ पे. अनरियलिस्टिक था ये, बट ठीक है. 0 0 है ना. ठीक है कर लेते हैं. 0 0 सपोज 1 1 2 2 2. ओके, मैं रख लेता हूँ इंडेक्स आई डी एक्स एट 0 रख लिया. इंडेक्स आई डी एक्स एट 0 रख लिया. ठीक है, फिर क्या करेंगे? एक पॉइंटर यहाँ रख लेंगे. मैं बोलूँगा वाइल दिस इज इक्वल टू दिस मूव वाई. While this is equal to this, no, this is not equal to this, then this 0 will come at this location. IDX increases. Now again, like I will move forward. Is this equal to this? Yes. Move forward. Is this equal to this? No. 1 will come at this location. This index moves forward. Increase I. Is this equal to this? Indeed. Is this equal to this? Indeed. I move forward. I know for a fact this is the dead end, so I'll be like, since this is a dead end, please take it and have it up here itself. That's it. That's something I can do. Yes, I can do this. Yes. So I'll be like, I have an index 0. I have the nums array. Then I'll be like, I is the पॉइंटर लाइक जिससे मूव करेंगे आगे, while I is indeed less than n, and then let's define n as length of nums. Length of nums, that's completely fine. I'll be like while see I is less than n, correct, or let's say while I plus 1 is less than n, and the element in the at the location nums of I is equivalent to something like nums of I plus 1. Let's say 0 0 था ना, तो 0 0 इक्वल है I को इंक्रीज कर दो. Yes, if it's not equal, right, if it's not equal, let's say 0 1 है, 0 is not equal to 1, in that case I'll take 0, right, I'll take 0. So I'll be like, in the nums at this location idx, assign the value nums of I. Yes, this is something I can do, right? Nums idx पे nums of I आ गया. Then simply I increases by 1. At the end I can simply return something like, if I'm not wrong, also यहाँ पे अगर ये assign हो गया तो idx को भी बढ़ा दिए. अच्छा, let's consider the case 2 था, ठीक है, 2 3 बाकी है लास्ट में, suppose 2 यहाँ बाकी है. Is this equal to this? Yes, move forward. While I plus 1 is less than n, no, I plus 1 is not less than n because this is a dead end. Then in that case मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि nums at idx will be nums of I, idx को बढ़ा दिया, ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है. Yes, I think so this should run fine. And idx कहाँ पे रहेगा, idx कहाँ पे रहेगा वो देखना है मेरे को. लाइक idx फर्स्टली यहाँ पे आया 0 के लिए, फिर यहाँ पे आया 1 के लिए, यहाँ पे आया 2 के लिए, फिर idx यहाँ आ गया. तो लिटरली 0 1 2 3, I guess idx should be 3, right? So I can just simply return idx if I'm not wrong. Run code. अब नहीं चला तो फिर मेरे से अभी यहाँ पे, हाँ ये चल गया. सबमिट. कहाँ ये फेल कर सकता है? एक्सेप्टेड. ओके ग्रेट. इतना टाइम. Let's take a random question. Do some. Given an array of integer nums and an integer target, return indices of the two numbers such that they add up to the target. Okay, you may assume that each input would have exactly one solution. कितना time हो गया? 9:50. Okay, exactly one solution, and you may not assume this using the same element twice. Yeah, definitely you can return the answer in any order. 2 7 11 15 है, target 9 है, 2 and 7 answer होना चाहिए, 0 and 1. Indeed. Can I have any other thing? No. Is this array sorted, by the way? No. 3 2 4, it's not sorted. Target is 6. I can have 4 and 2. So acha, indices return karna 1 and 2. Nums 3 3 and so can I return any? You can return the answer in any order. वो छोड़ दो. Each input will have exactly one solution. Okay. इसका क्या कर सकते हैं कि I can have the answer as, कैसे return करना है? Output format क्या है? Output should be a list of these values, no? So answer is apparently 0, 0. Correct. And then I'll be like, which solution should I go for? एक तो hash map है, एक n log n वाला है. Let's go for n log n, but उसको sort करना पड़ेगा ना, array को sort नहीं कर सकते हैं. हाँ, hash map जाना पड़ेगा. Hash map is this thing. Array sort कर दिए. If I just sort the array, it's n log n time. But again, elements are sorted, right? I can definitely get the indices as well, but I don't think so that should be optimal. So let's say for I in range something like length of nums. Okay, let's define n as the length of nums, and for I in range something like n is going to do fine. I'll be like, if nums of I not in hash map, in that case, or let's say do something like this, hash map dot append no, there can be duplicate elements now. There can be duplicate elements. If there's duplicates, then I have to think of one thing. Okay, twice. Yes, you may not use the same element twice, which means duplicate. There's a possibility of duplicate. So I think so I should store something like this: element and the list of indices at which they appear. So something like this should work fine. If nums of I not in hash map, in that case I'll be like, hash map of nums of apparently I is at this index I. Else I'm like, okay, it's already there, so hash map of nums of I dot append I. Simple stuff. And then here I'll be like, yeah, run a big O of n loop and just get the elements, right? So for I in range n, Yes, for in range n. If okay, so what's the leftover sum? I'll write something like this. Leftover sum is apparently target minus the current element nums of I. Correct. Target minus the current element nums of I. Okay. Now I'll be like, okay, if the leftover sum, hmm, if the leftover sum in hash map, yes, if the leftover sum in hash map, in that case, uh, loop over that, right? So for key in hash map of something like leftover sum, I'll be like, if for key name for something like for value in hash map of this thing, yes, I'm literally accessing the values, right? If I'm not wrong. Hmm. For value in hash map of leftover sum, will this work? I mean, will this work? Let me see. Will this work? I think so. In Python it works now. Let's say there's a hash map. I have something like h of 1 is assigned to something like 1 2 3. I'm saying for v in hash map of something like hash map of 1, uh, print v. I think so this should work. Why am I getting confused here? Yeah, this is working. Why am I getting confused? Okay, so here I'll be like, if value is not equivalent to the current index I, literally I found my answer. So answer of 0 should be something like value, and answer of 1 can be as simple as I, and then I'll be returning the answer. Yes, this is something I can think of. Let's run the code. Pending judging 1 0 and 0 1. Okay, what will happen? Like, I think so this should work now. Yes, submit. Yes, accepted. Let's see, valid Sudoku. Valid Sudoku. Determine if a 9 into 9 Sudoku board is valid. Only the filled cells need to be validated according to the following rules. Each row must contain the digits 1 to 9 without repetition. Did I cross 35 minutes? I don't think so. Each column must contain the digits 1 to 9, 9 and 3 to 3 subbox of the grid must contain the digits 1 to 9 without repetition. Okay. A Sudoku board partially filled could be valid but is not necessarily solvable. Great. Only the filled cells need to be validated according to the mentioned rules. Okay, I just have to validate this. I don't need to fill the cells, no? Input board, no, output is true. The reason it's true is because I see, let's say for any element 9, horizontally there is no 9. Uh, Vertically there's no 9. In this box there's no 9. Okay, why is this a false? Let's see. Let's take 8. Okay, I see this is a conflict. एक ही रो एक ही क्या बोलते हैं कॉलम में 8 दो बार आ रही है, right? That's the problem. Any other one which is conflicting, something like 9 9? No, I don't think so. Any other thing? So I, yeah, same as example 1 except with the 5 in the top left corner being modified to 8, since there are two 8s in the top left 3 into 3 sub box. Okay, like in this case I see this is the sub box wherein 8 is twice present, and also I see that literally this 8 is present up here as well in this way. Okay. Hmm. Okay, I think so I have to check column wise, row wise, and in that box. What can I do? Okay, I close that, right? What can I do? I know for a fact I can check for the column. It's not a problem. So let's say I get the element up here. I'm just gonna loop here in this column. I'm gonna loop here in this row. So I'm gonna loop horizontally. Horizontally, and I'm gonna loop vertically. That's completely fine. I have to have some condition for diagonal implementation, right? Diagonally नहीं ये n queens problem थोड़ी ना. I have to check within these 3x3 sub matrix box na. Okay, so okay, let's first write for this thing. I think so this is little more towards implementation side. Return a boolean value, right? So return true or false, just so that it's in my mind. Board is also given, and it's always that it's 9 cross 9, right? It's always given that it's 9 cross 9. Okay, what can I do right now? Horizontally check कर लेते हैं ना पहले. So I'll write something like this. First check horizontally. I think so I have to check for each and every row and column, correct? So it's going to be 9 cross 9, which is 81. time complexity, right? For each and every one, I have to check. Yes, it's indeed that close to big of 9 square or more than that, maybe more than that. Let's see. First check horizontally. So for I in range something like 9, for j in range 9. Why do I need to check horizontally only? Let me first check, remove this. For I in range 9, for j in range 9, I'll be like, if is valid, yes. If this stuff is valid, if this cell is valid, how do I check the validity? That okay, horizontally, vertically, and that in that 3 cross 3 submatrix box, all the elements, like literally all the elements are unique, right? That's something I want to check. So if cell dot valid, what do I need to pass? I need to pass I, j, and I think so I need to pass the board. That's it. If this is true, then I think so it's completely fine. So I can check for true condition, I can check for false condition. Let's say I'm going to check for false. So if not self dot valid, in that case, I guess I can simply return false, because I know for a fact at any point if it's not valid, the entire thing is not valid. Else, if this condition is not getting satisfied, I'll return true. That's the entire thought process. Define is valid, and then I guess I'll be having the row and the column, and then I'll be having the board or the matrix. Board is nothing but the matrix. I see this is a class, so I think so self is really mandatory here. I feel like, yes. Then firstly I'll write here check for horizontal, right? Check for horizontal stuff. Okay. If uh base condition is key. Base condition is, what if I land to one of these dots? Correct. What if I land to one of these empty spaces? In that case, should I check? No, because empty space to both ho sakte, but empty space is something I'm not considering. So I'll be like, if board of something like row and something like column is equivalent to this dot, I think so this is the representation, no? Dot. Yes. If it's this, then this is the base condition. I'll write something like this. I'll copy this entire stuff. I'll paste it below. This is nothing but the base condition. Not really base condition because I'm not doing recursion, but still I'll return true. I'll return true because I don't need to check further, right? Else I'll check further. Else I'll check for horizontal. So horizontally let's check करेंगे. Horizontal, right? So row is fixed, column is changing. For I in range n 9, right? For I in range 9, row is changing. No, row is changing. I mean row is same. So if board of row and column is changing, so I, row is same, column is changing, is equivalent to something like board of whatever my column and row value is. In that case, I'll be like, why don't you return false? Simple implementation. Now the problem here is key. Let's say this is the thing, right? And these are the columns. These are the columns. So let me rewrite this. It's not completely fine. Let's say this is the particular row and these are the columns, right? And let's say I'm checking for this value 9. Here's 8, 3, 4, right? So I'm checking with respect to this 9. This is not 9, this is not 9, this is not 9. But when I come here, this is 9, right? So 9 is equal to 9 and this should be false. But it's not false because I'm checking that same value, which is at this column. And I is represented by column. So I'll be like, if I is equivalent to column, then don't check. Yes. So yes, I can do something like this. If I is equivalent to column, then you can skip it, right? What's the thing for skip? Continue. Continue, right? Skip it, continue. Okay. This is for horizontal. I'll be checking for वर्टिकल वर्टिकल में क्या है कि कॉलम फिक्स्ड है राइट कॉलम फिक्स्ड है हाँ column is fixed and I guess row is changing. So for I in range something like 9, what I can do, so literally let's say again, let's say the value is something like this. These are the rows. I think so I is something I'm accessing in this way. So let's say I'm searching for this X value, Y is there, Z is there, and a lot of things are there. So X is not equal to Z, X is not equal to Y, but I'm checking for this. X is equal to X, this might return me false, but this is not valid, right? I mean, I'm checking the same value. So if at all I is equivalent to the row I'm checking for, then in that case, I'll skip it, right? I'll skip it because it's the same thing. But for the rest of them, I'll check. And column is fixed. So this I should be yes. So if, what can I do? row is changing, column is fixed. If I is equivalent to that particular row, in that case skip it, let's say continue. Correct, continue. Oh my bad. Then I'll be like, okay, if board at literally something like row is changing, so I is the row and column is fixed. If it's equivalent to my current value board of something like row and column, in that case I'll be returning false. Yes, I can do this. Also, I feel like base condition is something I can provide it up here itself, but let's see. Let's see. So this is done. Let's see for the 3 cross 3 sub box, or I can say sub matrix. Correct, sub box or the sub matrix. Okay, what can I do here? Sub box, hai na? Or sub matrix. Okay, let's see. I have to develop one logic now, because I don't think so brute forcely sub check करने जाएंगे तो problem है. Hmm. Let's say that this is the 3 cross 3 na. Let's say the particular row and column is this one. This is what? Let's say this is, I don't know, this is nothing but 0 1. Okay, so 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, because 9 tak nahi jayega, 8 tak jayega, 0 based indexing hai. So this is at 4, and let's say this is at 0 1 2. So 4 comma 1 is the cell I am at. How will I determine the starting point and the ending point of this bigger 3 cross 3 submatrix? Okay, I think so it's pretty simple. 4 and 1 is there now. 4 and 1. I'll reduce this down to a point where its modulo 3 is equivalent to 0. Yes. So if I reduce 4 to 3, then 3 modulo 3 is 0. Yes. If I reduce 1 to something like 0, then 0 modulo 3 is, I guess, 0. If I'm not wrong, 0 modulo 3 is 0. Yeah. So 3 comma 0, I think so is the starting point. And for the ending point is 5 comma 2. How will I get 5 comma 2 from here? Okay, add 2 to both of them. So 3 plus 2 is 5, 0 plus 2 is 5. Okay. So let's write something like this. Get the start point of the smaller 3 cross 3 sub matrix. How will I get it? I'll be like start point, start p, or let's say start point. I can have something like this now. Start is apparently empty right now, which is 0 comma 0, or let's have something like this. Start is, I guess, row comma column, and then end is apparently, I'll write it up here itself. End is going to be something like this. Whatever the value at start of 0 is, plus 2. Whatever the value is at start of 1, plus 2. By the way, I can have a negative indexing up here as well, because that's completely fine in Python. And here I'll be like, while start of 0 modulo 3 is not equivalent to 0, in that case start of 0 minus equivalent to 1. Yes, 4 था, 4 से 3, 3 से अब आगे नहीं जाएगा, because 3 modulo 3 is equivalent to 0, right? Okay, then for this one as well, while start of apparently 1 modulo 3 is not equivalent to 0, in that case I'll be like start of 1, reduce that by 1. That's it. Yes, end is also here. Now I have the start and end. Okay, now I'll be like for I in range 3, very important, and then for j in range something like 3, what's the new I index? New I is going to be I plus, what should it be? I plus start of 0, if I'm not wrong. Let's say I'm at accessing I is at 0, so 0 plus start is at 3. Yes, it's going to be 3. What is new j? Is going to be j plus start of 1, no? Yes, start of 1 or no? Yes, start of 1. Let's say j is at, I don't know, like 6, I know. So 0 plus 6 is 6, 3 comma 6. Then next step 3 comma 7. I'll be like, if board of new I new j is equivalent to whatever my previous value is, which in this case is row of this column. In that case, what can I do? I can apparently return false, no? But I'll also have to check that This should not be equal to the row and column, right? So new j is not equivalent to column, and something like new I is not equivalent to row. And on top of that, board of this thing is equivalent to board of this thing. In that case, return false. I have a bad feeling that this is not going to work, but still, let's see. So is this required? This end is required? No, I don't think so. Maybe I can just comment this out now. Yes, I can comment this out. Get the start point of the smaller 3x3 submatrix. Yes, I got it. Yes. Hmm. Think so. This should run fine. At the very end, I'll be like, since it passed all the above checks, please return true. That's it. I have a really bad feeling. What do I need to return, by the way? False or true? Let's see. Your answer is false. Expected answer is true. Yes, indeed. It went wrong somewhere. Let's see. 5376195986648317266284195. I think so this is the very first test case now. 537. Yes, this is the first test case. Where did I go wrong? Let's see. ING and board is being passed now. Return false. Else return true. If not, uh-huh. 9 cross 9, right? Yes. Hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. Same as example 1, except with the 5 in the top left corner being this. Okay. 537619598 6. What can I do here? Did I go wrong somewhere? Let's see. If board of row column is this thing, then return true. Okay. Is this wrong? I don't think so. I can even have something like this. If board of row call is not equivalent to this thing, yeah, if it's not equivalent to this thing, no, I don't think so. This is a problem. No, this is, if not this thing, then return false. If I get a false here, hmm. So if I get a true here, then not true is a false and this won't execute. But if I get a false here, then not false is true. Yeah, that's completely fine. If board of row of column is this thing, then return true, because I don't think so going further will help me. Check for horizontal. Okay, for I in range n, I mean for I in range 9, if I is equivalent to column, continue. Else I'm saying board of row of I. Yes. सी आई क्या है यहाँ पे, हॉरिजॉन्टल जा रहा है राइट, तो आई कॉलम बन के इंक्रीज कर रहा है. So on that note, can I not say row of I is, row of I is what? That particular row, that column, next column, and then so on. Oh my god, this should be row and column, right? Row column, this is row column. Yeah, this should work fine. Let's see. Yeah, true and true. Oh, there was this small mistake. Let's see. This gets accepted. Yeah, accepted. Yes, so I think so. I made a little mistake here. This was apparently switched with column and row, and then I switched it to row and column. Okay, so that's my bad. I forgot to check. I think so. I did solve 3, right? And I think it's past 35 minutes. Yes. I can probably end the session and I can continue tomorrow.